squashes would be kind of cool. So I brought 3 different ones with me today. This is an acorn squash. Obvious reasons, it looks like a big old acorn. This is a butternut squash. And then I actually have in the oven already is spaghetti squash. I wanted to get that started so that way y'all will be able to taste everything that we have today. Have y'all worked with squashes before? Yeah. Sometimes they can be intimidating, but they really aren't. I mean, once you get in there, it's not bad. It's just like playing with a pumpkin. All right, so we're gonna do 3 different recipes. So there's spaghetti squash in the oven right now. All I did is I took the whole squash like this. Some of you saw me. It took me like less than 5 minutes to do it. You just cut it right down the middle, inside our seeds, just like your pumpkin. Scoop them all out, get them out of there, and I just put a little bit of olive oil on what's in the oven right now, and that way you can taste the natural of it. You can add garlic to it. You can add Italian seasoning to it. You can add all the harvest spices to it, like cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, whatever design you like. I know Pampered Chef has all kind of mixes. There's some cool mixes. Just mix that in there. And you can eat it as is. You can eat it underneath your pasta, just like you would regular pasta, and you're not having all of that, all the grains to it. So this is a butternut squash. I just cut off the end because it's easier to get through it. It's going to give us a solid spot on each end, or a flat spot on each end. It's all pretty in there. You can already see the seeds down there. Just be real careful when you do this. Okay, go right down the middle. Okay, and then when you're buying these at the grocery store, I don't have any magic tip for it, but I will say look at them and make sure there's no soft spots in them, because I did notice that yesterday when I was purchasing them, there were a couple with some soft spots in it. Also, this time of year, you're going to find a lot sweeter squash than you will other times of the year. I bought them in the summertime for some clients I cook 300-calorie meals for. So I always try and use the spaghetti squash for them. And when you buy it in the summer, it's not in season. It's just like anything else. They'll produce anything around the country for us to buy all year long, right? But the flavor of it isn't quite the same. Now we're hitting the season and we're good. And one of the things I noticed too is in off season, it's a lot harder to crack them. So if you buy them in different times of the year, be careful when you're cutting through them, because they really are solid and it will slip and you will hurt yourself. Okay. Here's a little tip, and that's from personal experience. Okay. So butternut squash is great because you actually have all this flesh up here, but you do have the meat down below. Personally, you're a little core and more, right? It's my favorite thing to clean out the stuff. It's great at pumpkin time too with kids. All right, so you're gonna clean out all the seeds in here. And today we're gonna make, with this butternut squash, we're gonna make a little butternut squash soup. Oh my gosh. Ooh, I like it. See, I knew I missed all these Pampered Chef ladies. Okay, so I'm just gonna clean that out real fast. Easy, easy. As the kids say, easy peasy. Get that all out of there. Lemon squeeze. Okay. And this is something too, you can just roast it as it is. One of my favorite things to do in the fall is to take a multitude of squashes, butternut squash, acorn squash, and you'll see in the market, and certain markets are a little bit more expansive with their varieties than others, but there's one called a turban squash. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. It's like big, it kind of looks like a pumpkin. It's like big and round. It looks like, when I first saw it, I was very intimidated by it, because I was like, what in the world do you do that? And so,
I always wondered what it was.
yeah, it's a little bit sweet. Okay, I like taking a mixture of all those different squashes and dicing them up and tossing with just a little bit of olive oil and putting them in the oven like that. It's a beautiful medley. You can mix in sweet potatoes or red potatoes with it too. Just olive oil, salt and pepper, straight up. Put it on your stone. I still cook with stones, y'all, for my business all the time. Put it with that and then just serve it just like that. It's awesome. You can mix it with eggs in the morning, give yourself a little heartiness with that. Okay. Now when you get to this part, y'all can see what I'm doing?
And what kind of acorn squash, or what kind of squash is that?
This is butternut.
Butternut.
So we're just
What
gonna
kind of acorn squash is that?
So I'm just gonna peel the outside. Now, for this purpose too, y'all, you can avoid doing all this if you want to. I'm doing a one-pot deal here because we all know that like one pot is great because you don't have the dishes and it's easy that way. You can just take it, split it like I did, clean it out how we had the 2 sides, put it in your stone, put it in the oven and roast it that way and just scoop everything out. Another way you can do it. It's a little different of a flavor, that's all. It's kind of got that roasted flavor to it.
What do you like better?
think the flavor of the roasted squash is a better flavor.
It causes it to go sweet.
Personally. Yeah, it pulls out all the natural of it. Absolutely. But I'm already roasting one in there, so I thought it'd be fun to show you this one too. The recipe I have for y'all to take home, I believe it tells you to roast it too. I think.
She needs the head because she knows.
Well, this is, you know what? This is one of my mom's favorite recipes. She makes it every Thanksgiving. And my family doesn't like it, but she doesn't care. But like my brothers and them, because I'm not home for, they're all in New England. And so she makes it every year. She's like, I know they're not going to eat it, but I don't care. I like it. Like, go, Mom, go.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm probably the only one in my family that
That would
like
actually-
but I don't care.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If you are, make a batch of it, put it in freezer bags, and freeze it.
Oh yeah, I
And
got
just
it.
reheat it. Okay. So obviously, the bigger, the
Yeah.
smaller, the faster it's going to cook.
Anything with squash.
All right.
The only one in my family.
So that's easy, right? If I wasn't talking, and even
Yes.
with talking, that took us like what, 10 minutes maybe? Something like that. All right.
No, it's not even, yeah.
Now, do you use the other end too?
Yes, you do. You can totally use this part too. I'm just whipping on through it, but absolutely peel it, throw it in there too. Yes, ma'am. You know that would be cool if you roasted it like that. You can use it as a bowl.
Yeah.
Like put all the cute, like all the roasted vegetables coming. Oh, that'd be good. Take all the roasted vegetables come out of it. Exactly. Like ding, 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 ding.
I like the butternut squash.
Okay. So for our soup, it says in your recipe yellow onion, but I didn't have any. So I'm gonna take a red onion. All right, let's take a butternut. So I don't know if you've all heard these tips before with the onions, but I just cut the ends when I'm using both. Y'all probably know the tip because I learned it from Pampered Chef. When you leave the core on, it lasts longer if you're not using the whole thing. So leave that knot on there. I have no tips for onions making you cry, because they always do. But that's okay because it just means it's fresh. The fresher it is, the more you will weep. And people with contacts, I don't know if anyone wears contacts, but apparently people with contacts, it doesn't affect them because they're like protected, right?
Yeah.
So if you follow the lines, the natural lines of an onion, that's how you get julienne onions. I don't know if you guys all do that. So just follow the lines, dude. Follow the lines, man. Okay? If you want to dice it, you follow your lines, you turn it, you come back the other way, and then you have your dices. Okay? So that's easy. Turn it, just keep following them. And we're just, this is all going to be pureed, so that's why I'm not really caring on what we look like right now. Okay. So we're going to put a little bit of oil on the bottom of your,
Is that just olive oil?
just olive oil. That's all that is. We're going to start with your onions. Put your onions in. Get that beautiful sizzle. Oh, you love that's like my favorite.
Oh my God.
Alright. We're gonna get that going. We're gonna add a little bit of garlic to it. It's hot.
Yes, that
Okay.
is.
And then tips and garlic. Okay, the closest to the bulb, the fresher it's gonna be. So, and we all know Pampered Chef too is all fast go. We buy a lot of top stuff. When you buy it in the whole bulb, that's the freshest. The farther away from it you get, the milder in flavor it's gonna be. I do buy it already peeled because I go through a lot of it. Add a couple cloves of garlic in there.
Oh my God, can we smell that?
Can you smell that? That's good, right? I love garlic. Garlic and onions.
We need a person here in garden now.
That smell is unbelievable.
Right?
That
Ooh,
is,
and they're still strong.
I know. Yeah.
Smells good.
Okay.
Okay. I brought with me today a little Grand Marnier. You can use you can use brandy, you can use a Grand Marnier, you can use whatever kind of cognac you might like. If you prefer not to use alcohol, you can just use a stock and straight up and don't necessarily use the booze. But it's morning and it's orange flavored, so we're good. And all you're doing now is you're deglazing it. Fancy word. For getting all the crap off the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay? Pull all that up. You can see it's all caramelizing in
Here, hold on.
We get the inside shot. Got it. Okay. Then we're gonna add our squash in there. Now, if you want to keep this fully vegetarian, just use vegetable stock versus the chicken stock I brought today. It's a great alternative. That's a concern of yours when preparing. Now we're gonna add in our chicken stock and our seasoning. So we're gonna salt and pepper. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of kosher salt personally. Kosher salt in there. And then what did I bring with me? So we have the nutmeg. I do a lot of kids cooking class, so I love using the whole nutmeg with the kids because they just think it's so cool. It's like what the squirrels eat outside, but we're putting it in our food. Okay. Nutmeg is pretty strong. It's going to be super fresh when it comes right from the nut. But that's always fun. And then I brought a little allspice too. Okay. Paper Chef have a mixture like that in there, one that has like all everything together. Cinnamon plus. Is nutmeg really a nut? Yeah.
Nutmeg?
It's a nut, just like that. Yo, John. It's a nut. It's a what? It's a nut.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Alright. Now we're just going to cover it with the stock, so it's just going to boil down. It's going to simmer down. Okay. Simmer down. Let's crank this up so y'all will be able to taste this before the day is done. Alright, now we're just going to let that do its thing. Always remember when you make something like this, is the final ingredients you put in are going to be the strongest in flavor. So I have a little maple syrup to put in, and I'm going to wait and put that in at the end. We'll finish it off with a little cream and butter, because butter always makes everything better.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just going to let that do its thing. So that wasn't that wrong?
No.
Alright, cool. The other thing I brought with me, so acorn squash. Okay, so when I buy acorn squash or anything that has grooves in it, I really seek through it all and find, if I'm gonna peel it, I find ones that are a little bit not as deep in its crevices because they're a pain in the butt to peel them. And then you end up losing a lot of the meat of the actual squash. So this one was a little bit smoother than some of the ones that are real deep. Sometimes you just don't have a choice, but if you do. Okay. And now too, this is one where, y'all see those little baby pumpkins and baby squashes in the market. Even an acorn squash, you can buy them kind of smaller. If you made acorn squash soup, follow this recipe, but just swap out your squashes. It's a real cute presentation for the holidays. You put it in the cute squash. Just leave a little bit off the bottom. If you go too far deep in, if you're cooking it, it's gonna seep through the bottom. So just do enough where it's gonna sit flat. I should have did that before we did it. And then hollow out your inside and serve it just like that. I love the fall. I'm from New England, so this is like my favorite time of the year. It's not like that here, but but I still like to think it is.
Yeah.
Oh, can you smell that? I was like, that smells good.
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna peel this out again. Okay, so for our acorn squash today, I thought it would be fun to do an acorn mash. Okay, so when changing up our eating, and certain people with certain dietary restrictions and things like that can't do mashed potatoes and things like that. So sometimes we'll do mashed cauliflower. You see that a lot. Okay, you can do a mashed squash. It's just like my godmother used to make mashed turnips for Thanksgiving. Now, I didn't, when we were kids, my mom would pass it around the table, and there always would just be a small little bowl, because it was one of those things, Aunt Dorothy was the only one that liked it, but it was always at the table every Thanksgiving, and it was always at their house. And so when I was a kid, and turnips by themselves are very bitter, right? And so that's why too, like when you do that medley of mix in a turnip and a parsnip and the squashes with it, because the bitterness will counteract with the sweetness, but you still get that blended flavor, so it's hitting all those places, and it makes, but it by itself can be very potent. But she used to just take it and cook it up, boil the heck out of it, and she would just mash the heck out of it. So we're gonna do it today with acorn squash. It's a little bit sweeter than the turnip. And just be careful, because once you do clean this all out, it is going to be soft in the middle, so you don't want it to bend down on you when you're using a knife, okay? We'll just flip it. Again, you could do this in the oven and roast it, but then I would just be standing here looking at you guys, because it'd be sitting in the oven.
That's okay too.
So we can do like this. Okay.
That is
And
the
you
only
can
way
use
that
your
you can.
peeler
Oh.
as well. You
I was
can
gonna
use the
just
knife.
ask that. That's really the only way that you can really peel a squash, right?
Yeah, well,
Those are
you could use a
heavy.
peeler. I've seen people do the peelers with it. If you do your peeler with it, especially butternut is really actually easy to do with a peeler because you have that long neck on it. When it has these round pieces and you have all those little grooves in there, I'm someone that tends to use a knife over other gadgets just because that's
You're a
just,
chef,
you
you know
know,
how to use them.
well, but you can use all those little, you know, tools. And you can use a peeler too, you know. It's just, again, depending on the freshness of your squash, that outside is going to be hard. It's like peeling a pumpkin, you know? It's just got that rough edge on it. Oh, oh no. Smells like apple pie, y'all.
Oh my God.
Okay. So let's get rid of all this. So peel that. And now, this is just going to be just like mashed potatoes, friends. Just gonna cut it up. Just like when you make mashed potatoes, don't cut them too small because you want the meat of the potato is what makes it fluffy. If you like slice your potatoes or they're real thin, when you go to mash them, they're not as fluffy. So you gotta have some sort of like something for them to go into. There's a little tip for not cutting your fingers off. See how I'm holding it? Just always curl your fingers over and hide your thumb. Two places, you guys know the two places people cut themselves the most? Or they see in the emergency room the most? Your pointer finger, and your thumb.
Yeah.
Because people have their hands out like this and, or their thumbs out like this.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm just gonna go fill this up with water real fast. Alright, calm down.
And we need food out there though.
Oh, did I do that? Well, who would have ever thought? And he's in there. Somebody got keys in their pocket, huh? Might not have picked them up.
Yeah, the keys are in there.
Yeah.
Keys
You
are
might have a
inside.
screwdriver.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, I probably have one in my car. I blocked my
I do have a screwdriver in my car.
So many ladies have screwdrivers in
I
their
have a
car.
whole emergency kit. I'm assuming there's a screwdriver there. I'm
I
sure.
have some in my glove compartment. I'll go
Okay,
get it.
so
Say, because the next part is in the oven.
see you there.
Don't burn the squash.
I don't know if I should take that or this.
And this is like an
Commercial break.
Hop on over to Eric over there.
I'll go look for his phone.
You can see some of my room.
Okay. So, good.
Get a screwdriver.
Oh, screwdriver, somebody's already done it.
Yeah, I can see they've been popping it over.
Hey, is it like one of those? What about like that?
the ones that, the ones.
Yeah.
What about like a flexible cutting mat? Will it like slip in there and push it?
You can try, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
You gotta take that.
I am gonna have to take that.
I'll give my phone out.
Okay, you know what? We're gonna make the topping while we're waiting for the excitement of the door. Okay, so this is how you're gonna make your super ball fancy when you have your friends over for this.
Uh-oh.
So on the recipe I sending home with y'all, it's roasted butternut squash with a spiced creme fraiche. Creme fraiche is just a fancy version of sour cream. That's all. It's like aioli. Aioli, it's just garlic mayonnaise.
Yeah.
You know, you guys know, isn't there recipes with their stuff?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So, but when you see creme fraiche, when you make it traditionally, you add buttermilk and you add cream and you cover it up and it sits and it just cultures and then you take off all that crud on the top and then underneath is your creme fraiche. But for our purposes, I just brought sour cream with us today. With me today. We're gonna spice it up. We're gonna add small spice,
Oh, man.
Need a screwdriver.
Okay, it didn't work.
sweetness of the cinnamon,
Ooh.
Or like a 9. That might work.
Allspice?
Allspice, cinnamon,
Allspice,
nutmeg.
cinnamon. And you have the recipe anyway, so.
Yes, you'll have the recipe.
Yes.
Another one, if you like spicy, you can just forget all these fall flavors because you are gonna have the fall flavors. Counteract it with something spicy. You can do roasted jalapeno. You can do chipotle. You can do something that has a little bite to it. Uh-huh. I think this original recipe.
Then how come I haven't known you before this day?
Where did it go?
With a mini serving spatula.
That's another story for
Mini serving spatula.
Mini serving spatula, another use for the mini serving spatula.
Breaking into a house or a kitchen.
Now you know what? Here it is. Don't go really in
That was just a little commercial
Just gonna
break.
mix it up. This is gonna be your fancy garnish on top.
So that's
You could
sour
also
cream?
do, it's just sour cream with spices in it.
Okay.
Like I said, you can go the other route and add spice like chipotle and make it a little zesty, roasted jalapeno, just puree it up before you mix it in. You could also do, curry, yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, that'd be good, girl.
Well, because I made curry.
You can do nuts too. I'm a big person of texture, so if you can, I always like to balance your soft with something crunchy. So you can also do like the crunchy nuts on top, and that'd be really yummy. Or like, like spiced nuts, chop them up with that on top. Oh, that's another one. Okay. Spicy roasted pumpkin seeds. Alright, let's see. Oh yeah, toasted pumpkin seeds. Yeah, this recipe works really good with the pumpkins as well. We did a big demo one year, and we had it with the big pumpkin, and we were serving it up. It was really yummy. I'm just gonna add a little bit more. Give us a little bit more liquid in here.
Is that just cooking down? Is it?
It's just cooking down.
Okay.
Yep. Alright, I'm gonna pull out that spaghetti squash for you guys.
It's out.
Yeah, just take it out. Oh, okay. I'm gonna bring it out, I guess I should.
Whoa.
This is very folly.
It sure is.
Alright.
Oh.
So this
Oh my goodness.
is your spaghetti squash.
What
Okay.
temperature did you cook
So
that?
I did this at 375. It's been about 30-ish minutes or so. When you do it, clean it all out. Okay, so you just cleaned it out. I put a little olive oil on it, and that's it. Because I really wanted to taste the flavor of the squash.
You put the olive oil on the inside of it?
Yeah, just on the inside of it. Yep. And then flip it over. So what's happening underneath is all the steam, and the steam is what's cooking it.
This is like a nylon, so I don't want it to burn.
Oh.
Just think, I don't know, because I don't know how. This is a brand new one, so I don't know. What it's made on.
Now I feel pressure because I'm not the neatest of cooks, girl. Okay, so now, the coolest thing about this, now y'all gotta taste it. So then, once it comes out, you just scrape it.
And what temperature did you roast?
375, yeah, I didn't write this down anywhere, so mention it. 375 for approximately 30 to 40 minutes. So once you pull this all up, like when you look at the squash, there's actually lines like kind of across it. Okay, this is
So you
not.
can't eat that skin on that, right?
No, no squash skins
Okay.
are edible. I mean, I guess you could, but you'd be chewing for days.
Okay.
Okay, so then you just scrape it down, and then it looks like spaghetti. So then you can just serve it up like that with tomato sauce. You can eat it just like that. Sure. What do you want me to do? Just serve it up. Serve it up. Okay.
My kids get that. Right. So I make it more.
Okay. Yeah, that's. I didn't bring utensils. All right. What else can you put on here? I've done it too with cream sauce. You can do a cream sauce over it. That kind. See, you can justify like Alfredo sauce with this because you're not actually eating the pasta. For those that need to make it okay. You know what would also be really yummy with this is roasted peppers. Like some people take the roasted peppers and turn that into a sauce. And that's really easy, y'all. You can just take a jar of roasted peppers that has the oil, the garlic, and peppers all in it, puree it, season up a little salt and pepper, heat it up, out the door. That'd be good too.
So
I
that
need
would
to
be
be, you're taking this
puree.
right, so I can remember all these ideas that we're coming up with.
We're gonna have to remember because they're on video.
Yeah, it's all on video. All in the big one. All in for she just loves.
Spaghetti squash for breakfast.
Oh, that's mine.
Breakfast of champions.
Louise, I have one with a fork. I have a fork, so give me one with that.
And hold on your forks because there's more. We'll taste a little bit more stuff. I did bring stuff for this soup. Okay.
It looks like hash browns.
And yeah, it does.
Or spaghetti.
And now remember, it's like straight up with just olive oil, so you get the taste of the squash. So again, you can season it with fresh garlic, onions, Italian seasoning. What else could you put in there? You could go the spicy route and do the chipotles and the adobe pepper chilies and things like that. Go Mexican with it. That's the cool thing. It's real versatile, y'all.
This is no salt, no pepper. This is just
That's
olive oil.
it. All that I put in there was a little bit of olive oil. Like we're talking a teaspoon for all of it. Oh, so you got nothing?
Well, I doubled it. I thought it was enough, and then
Yeah.
I got it, yeah.
Take from here too.
Sure, I'll just right up.
Yeah. Look at it. See, it's easy, right?
Yeah.
It is hot, so watch your claws. That's right. Yeah, so all I put on there was the oil, so that's the natural flavor of it. So it's real sweet and it's natural component. Again, it's this time of year, so if you're buying it in June or July, it's gonna definitely have an altered flavor. It's like buying your tomatoes fresh in December versus in the summer. All right. Did everybody get something to try? Did you get something? Okay. Oh, here, now we're gonna swap this up. All right. I'm gonna put this in the kitchen so it's out of the way. Try this.
Yeah.
Nice love stone.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I really do. I cook with my stoves all the time, and I break them all the time, and then I replace them all the time. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Ma'am.
Did water in the bottom of your maker when you were making that?
No, so it's fully steamed. Just flip it over, and that's it.
You always put water in the bottom.
Oh, when you're doing the spaghetti squash?
Any squash.
Oh.
Put it in a casserole dish with a little bit of water at the bottom.
You know what? I don't know about that. I never do that, but somebody just shared with the new cookware and the steamer, doing the spaghetti squash in there, steaming it in the steamer. Yeah, the new steamer.
Oh, the
Yeah.
steamer insert.
The steamer insert.
Yeah, all this is hot or in
Hand blender slowly dying out. Okay, so all I'm doing now is I'm pureeing the butternut squash. I'm a fan of the hand blender if you have one. You can do it in a regular blender. I just know myself, and if I tried to pour it into a regular blender, I would be hurting myself because I just know myself well. So these little hand blenders are super handy. And all I'm doing is pureeing it. Now you'll see it's kind of the consistency of baby food right now, which is not what we want. So once it's all pureed, amazing? Oh, good. It smells good too. Yeah, I was just thinking as my blender's dying, and maybe this is the wrong thing to say, but I'm like, the blender lasted longer than my marriage. This was a gift when I got married. So who is that? Braun hand blender handy. That's hilarious. Okay.
Do you have one of those?
Butter. Everything's better with butter. This is where your calories are going to make your stick in there.
Oh my gosh, a little stick of butter.
Butter. I see some chunks in there, so we'll run the blender in here one more time. So we're just doing the butter. Once it gets to this point, an old chef taught me this a long time ago, is that when you're cooking, you always want to season in stages, okay? Because as your food cooks, you keep adding and building flavors on it. So we're going to go ahead and season it one more time with salt and pepper. We've added our butter to there.
What's the difference between kosher and pink or Himalaya sea salt or sea salt?
The texture of it is different. The Himalayan sea salt is finer and it's touch to it. I'm never really good at telling you all the different. My ex-husband, he was a chef too, or he is a chef too. He'd come home one time from work and he had like 8 different salts on the pantry shelf. I'm a simple girl. I just like kosher salt, but he would take all these different salts for different purposes. It does affect different foods in different ways. He was also a fine dining chef, so in that level of cooking, you would use it in different methods. The one thing I learned about the Himalayan salt, it makes a really awesome crust on a steak. So you take it and you put it on the outside of your steak and then you sear it, and it's like this. Oh, dude, it's awesome. There's certain things I miss. I miss that. Like he was like, he made really good food like that. So I don't know. He's not gonna do it. So I don't know all the technicals behind it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I know there's different methods, or different people will use it for different stuff. I like kosher salt over iodized salt because it does have texture to it. Iodized salt, you should just use the tiniest of it, and it tastes salty to it.
Yeah.
Your food should never taste salty. It should just enhance the flavor, natural flavor, or whatever it is you're cooking.
Yeah,
Okay, so what are we missing? The syrup.
I don't use regular
Here's a little
salt
syrup.
anymore.
Was that pure maple syrup? What was that?
No, this is cheated. This is my daughter's, Mrs. Buttersworth. But ideally, I can't lie. I could have said yes. You should only use pure maple syrup, but I forgot to get any, and so. And as you can tell, I left the bottle at home, so I was gonna try and pull off. Yes, use the fresh. You're too honest. I am. Okay. So what am I forgetting? Cream. Okay, you can use half and half or cream. We're gonna do half and half today. Half and half is half cream, half milk. That's what half and half is. So the cream is richer. The cream is just richer. That's all. That's the only difference in it. Okay, I'm gonna give this one more zap with our blender because I see a couple little pieces there I missed, and then y'all are gonna taste it. Okay. So again, you can use the basis of this recipe. You can use pumpkin, you can use acorn squash, you can use whatever fall flavor that you like. And if you don't want to deal with the roasting of the fresh squash, like with something like pumpkin, you can use canned pumpkin. I mean, anything can be used easier. All right. Ooh, that's good. All right. So now.
Wow. Oh,
Smells so good.
tasting.
Those are not.
I don't usually use recipes, so I want to make sure I didn't forget anything if you're using this at home. Okay, we're good. Oh, and then the one other thing, oh my nose is already, is that you can add a little bit of milk to your sour cream to make it more loose if you want to, but it's not necessary. It's just a preference and consistency.
A little bit of sour cream, you said?
A little milk to the sour cream.
Your creme fraiche.
Yeah, or creme fraiche. Oh yeah, you can all eat that. All right. Okay, wait, I forgot to bring a big spoon. I have little spoons here. There's spoons. Okay. I forgot to leave the rest in here.
We each get like 5 of them.
I'm gonna get this thing all dirty. Here,
So
Red Soul?
if you have one.
Yeah.
I mean, this works too.
your fingers.
I'm good, Jen. This is working.
Use this though, come on.
we
My
don't.
business is run out of my home,
We don't
so I've
cook
learned to
more,
improvise.
Use this spoon, we could actually just slurp it up.
I'm gonna lose more if I use that.
Yeah.
But thank you.
And it's probably harder to scoop in there.
Hey now, just trying to be thoughtful.
I appreciate you. Oh wait, bring those back. I forgot to give you your dollop. Dollop will do ya. Here, I'll go around. I'll go around both sides.
Make sure. I want what's coming in
that
that.
out.
I want it the way that Cookie McKen says it.
I said
That's
call
the
it.
best way to do it.
When it first started.
Apollo?
Yeah.
That's something you don't.
A dollop, no, a dollar. Did I say a dollar?
No, I said that at my first show and all the older women were cracking up. I'm like, they're like, it's a dollar. I was like, oh.
Apollo's what you get.
I think I went over my time.
Oh, this smells so good. Yeah, that's your alright. It's good. It's good. You're
I got a couple calls.
Yeah.
Here. Put a few polyps in here.
Y'all are kidding.
Oh, you keep getting my back.
That's the spice preference.
Hold.
Hold it.
You don't need to sit down that way.
You can just
Oh my gosh,
Oh my gosh, this is so good, Kim.
right, and that wasn't hard, right? Done.
So good.
Cool.
Oh my lord.
I'm not paying
And
attention.
somebody gets leftovers.
Oh my God, I cannot even tell you. This is absolutely fantastic.
Oh my.
All right, enjoy. I'm gonna wash my hands real fast. And then one last thing.
I'm gonna take Jennifer.
Now is this recipe? I need another call on that sheet.
Polyp, you need a
I
polyp.
need another polyp. Yeah.
Who needs another polyp?
I didn't even have a
Can you
polyp.
make a big bag? Somebody need a polyp? Oh, you got a polyp.
Can you make? Yeah, absolutely. This is what I would recommend. If you know ahead of time you're gonna freeze it, then don't add the cream before freezing it. And when you reheat it, finish it with your cream then. You can do it either way, but it's just gonna kind of make the texture of it a little bit smoother and creamier if you finish with it. Okay. That'd be my only suggestion. But if you already have it here, we have this. So if I want to freeze it, I'll freeze it like that. You know. But ideally, totally.
Is that recipe on the sheet?
That's what y'all are taking home.
This is the soup.
The soup.
Yay!
Yeah, I didn't recipe anything else for y'all, so you just get that one. Okay. So then the last thing we have.
Wow, that is delicious.
Okay. Love when a plan comes together. All right. I have a strainer.
Thank you.
Kim, did you make this recipe?
I did. This is actually, you know what's funny? I went through my old files because I have like several computers with several lost computer files. Anyway, it's a big mess. But when I worked outside Chicago in Lake Forest, I worked at a place called Banquet Bistro. That was one of the 3 that I ran. But I would go do demos sometimes like this. And this is one of the demos I would go and I do, especially in the fall time, because people love to learn about squashes. So that was what I did back then. Yeah. All right, now. Oh, here.
My family would put this out with this happen.
If you don't tell your family what it is and you just serve it up, I mean, the color is not the prettiest of colors, but. All right, I'm just gonna go straight.
Can I do refills for anybody? Anybody want some more?
No, I'm still working this. I'm using my tiny spoon.
Oh, look at that.
All right, y'all. So now all I did is boil it just like you do potatoes, right? Just turn this down. I love that little burner. Right?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So it says 3 pounds of butternut squash. What is one of those squashes?
That's a great question.
I know I did it on a little scale, but I'm just trying to get an idea.
What the one we use? So like the size of a small baby, like.
Okay.
Something like that's just one of it. I'm a visual person. Let me say something like this.
So is this one?
Where's that squash Tracy for the
What I made today is everything that's on here is what I use. So I'd say that one today, probably about 3 pounds. Had I used the bottom part of it too. So basically a medium size. Don't get the babies. That's a good thing. I should actually so or you should convert it to that's probably about it was probably about 4 to 5 cups worth once it was diced up.
Okay.
So if you're a visual person like me, you can picture it like that. Okay, so now we're just gonna add a little bit of butter and cream to that, just like you would mashed potatoes.
I'm not letting
Is this gonna fill? Yeah, baby. Absolutely. Okay, salt and pepper.
No, this is what it was.
Yeah, I said it was sour cream.
No, it's pretty.
Oh my God.
Creme fraiche sour cream. It's sour cream. You can buy creme fraiche in the market. It's just a lot easier to have sour cream on hand than it is.
But what is this? Is this a homemade creme fraiche?
That is sour cream. That is just Daisy sour cream. It's actually sour cream, light sour cream out of my fridge at home.
You did something different.
And then I added the spices to it. So there's cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice.
Oh my God, that was unbelievable.
See, I
She's saying you can buy a creme fraiche.
All right, what is she doing?
So now all we're doing is mashing it.
And what is that?
This is the mashed acorn squash.
That's right.
And I love sour cream, but I mean.
So now you're just gonna mash it just like you would regular potatoes.
This is fair.
You don't want no more?
Y'all are killing me with this whole polyp thing.
Oh, yeah, I will. I will.
You want this?
Alright. So now I was too busy talking and I added a little extra cream. Talk about like even the chef screw up in front of a crowd.
I need a jowl.
Alright, okay, here's extra if y'all want it.
Who's got the
And a little bit
dollop?
more salt and
Jen,
pepper
you got the
here.
dollops? I'll wait for her.
Okay.
Bring those dollops.
And so this again is just an alternative to your mashed potato, you know, real versatile.
Got it.
I was watching College Cheese.
Okay, I have a question about the butternut squash.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
it says 3 pounds butternut squash.
Oh, yeah.
So does that mean when you go to the store you get 3 pounds, or does that mean once it's cut up it should be 3 pounds?
Go ahead and buy it at 3 pounds.
Okay, good.
It's not that exact.
Okay.
That's why, I'll be honest with you, that's why I had a difficult time at Pampered Chef to a degree.
Yeah.
Because I can't follow recipes.
Yes, I
So
understand.
I would go do
I don't
shows
either.
and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna do this recipe. I'm like, I ain't gonna do this freaking recipe. I can't do this recipe. But I would use the tools and bring
Yes.
myself. So, and that's why I'm not a baker. I bake because my business, you know,
Yes.
allows for it. People
Yes.
want baked goods.
Yes.
I teach baking to kids because they love it. But every time I do it, I go, oh, we gotta measure, make sure things don't blow up.
Yeah.
So, because we've had that, like with the kids, or catch on fire. I laugh because like I've been there, done that. Yep. I had in the summer I do a lot of kids camps, and so this summer, or it wasn't this summer, I think it was last summer. I had the kids coming and we were using the KitchenAid, and I was so busy talking, and I was busy, and you know, life, you just get tired, right? We were talking about that too.
So you'll have to use the same spoons.
Yeah, use your spoon. Okay. Save your spoon. And so we were talking so much, and I had the KitchenAid going, and I'm like, yeah, blah, blah. The mixer was still on, and batter was flying around the kitchen. It got kids in the face, and they just thought it was hilarious.
Yes,
I was like,
yeah.
they're gonna go home and tell their mom, and this kid had food flying all over the
That was
kitchen.
probably the best camp they've ever
But
been
yeah,
to.
They had a good time.
Butter.
Yeah, so this just has, just like you would mashed potatoes, it just has butter, and I use half and half. You can just use milk, you can use cream.
Your best friend over there. Yeah, you're converting me, Kim.
Awesome.
Okay, on this, let me ask you one more thing.
Lay it on me. That's why I'm here.
They have that frozen and, do you recommend buying it fresh? I think there's a big difference.
Well, I'll be honest. Usually, if you can buy it frozen, when they package produce frozen, it's fresh frozen. So
Okay.
they take it at a time and they freeze it.
Okay.
So you're okay buying it frozen.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Even vegetables, when it's out of season, you know, or like when I do tomato sauce and things like that, I'll buy the canned tomatoes depending on the time of year it is, because it's gonna be better than what you buy right there in the market often, because they pick it up heat. So, and you can buy a lot of the butternut squash and that. They have those sections in the grocery store where it's already diced up. Butter and half and half.
How much butter?
Like a quarter stick. That has half and half and butter, salt, pepper. That's it. Just like you would mashed potatoes. So if in your family you use skim milk and margarine, use skim milk and margarine. You know, I'm a chef and this is a demo, so you can see the richness. You know, it is like grits, yeah. And the texture's a little different. Not much though. You can totally put sour cream in it. There is no, this is my deal, like there's no rules to cooking. As long as it tastes good, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Oh yeah, you can add cheese to it. Cheesy grits. Heck yeah, that'd be good.
And shrimp.
And shrimp. Something to think about.
Oh my God.
All right, so don't forget to